There was one painting that I was looking at online yesterday, and I was like, oh, this painting's built like a taco. And I wanted to talk all about it, but I don't think it's in here.
Interesting.
Built like a taco.
Here's the checklist. There's some paintings in here on the checklist that are not up. Maybe you'll find it.
Maybe I just need to see it small.
There's one in
to see its tacos.
Oh, and there are some small ones actually that are easy to pull out. And, yeah, I'm curious which one.
Was there a little bit of meat? Some.
It felt like like you had your hand like this, and the painting was a taco. It was like
Oh.
built like that.
Oh.
Curious.
I don't think it's any of these.
Is it possibly this one? Okay.
It's okay. I mean, this was not like going to be a central thing that we really had to talk about. My ideas about tacos and your painting.
Very interesting. So it was like a painting that looked like a taco.
Well, it was like the way the white was operating in the painting was like your hand goes back behind like this, and then it had white on the front, and it was like it made like a little envelope that then all of the structure sort of sat in.
Yeah, very interesting.
And I had
observation.
tacos 2 nights ago, and so I was like had tacos on my mind.
Oh God, I think I know which one you might mean. It might have been one around 2019. Yeah. So
Tacos.
that's funny. That's funny. I think I know what you're talking about with the use of white, and you're right. There aren't examples here too much, but sometimes I'll put a white on top to kind of have a conversation with the white.
Exactly. Yeah. So the white physically goes behind, and then it physically goes in front, and creates this envelope that holds the painting.
Right.
Yeah. That's a thing you do.
Yeah. It's a thing I have done. Yeah.
Would you ever say you're trying to visualize a sense of compression like that, or like a squeezing of substance?
Such a great question. Right. No, but I could see that it might. Well, in some broader sense, yeah, because things might kind of balloon out and then go back in. So
a blossom and expansion.
When they go back in, yeah.
Okay.
But often it's, and there are no examples here really, but often it's just like if there's white here, it'll sort of talk to the white there.
Sure.
You know, that's often how it's used. But I'm thinking of an overall structure in all of them. It's like, always.
The term overall painting? Is that what you mean?
No, definitely not overall painting. But just, I'm thinking of where things push in and where they pull out in the bigger sense.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. That's the one painting that I went back into. It's been photographed twice. That might have been the hardest painting I in the show to John. This one and that one. Yeah. I think it was hard for me to decide what I was after in this one. Hardest. Because I think it would be easy to like have too much of a trope with a top heavy, with a top heavy thing going. I wanted it to be a little more personal, I guess, in meaning or specific in meaning.
Is that when you say a top heavy trope?
Meaning.
Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, this is a top heavy painting, but I didn't want it to be mindlessly top heavy.
Like formulaic.
Formulaic,
Got it.
exactly. Yeah. I wanted it to, in reality, maybe come out and go in the way I think it does finally.
When I'm looking at this painting, I'm sort of seeing like trails or walking paths.
Yeah, right.
I can imagine like entering this painting and sort of walking back in space.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, this is the sort of the trope of recessional space, and like far away is higher up, closer is lower down. Right. But they're like vague sort of tree forms in here, and for me, it's like a really beautiful, landscape.
I think of landscape often.
So you don't recoil from that?
No, not at all. I'm fine with that. But the funny thing is, people often see urban because of the use of the right angle.
Yeah. Right.
So
that seemed more explicit to me in the paintings around the corner. Which have more of a percussive, consistent beat, I guess.
Right.
Right. This one feels a little more pastoral or forest-like or something.
Well, that's very funny because this part here reminds me of kind of shrubbery and So pastoral,
Yeah.
maybe more suburban shrubbery, like we were talking about where we grew up, like the inner ring suburb I grew up in outside of St. Louis. There were a lot of beautiful gardens and things like that. This would be the kind of thing that someone might have. So that's the memory that it brings back for me.
Right.
The work is a lot often about memory and longing. I mean, there's a lot of formal stuff going on, but in a bigger meta way, there's memory also.
Yeah. I mean, Chris pointed down to this section down here is like a blooming or a flowering tree, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a beautiful free passage of paint.
Yeah.
But it does kind of congeal into like a natural form.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Are you talking about the spritzes?
Yeah. With just that one little bit of line kind of anchors it, holds it all together as a.
Yeah. I mentioned this in the talk a few weeks ago, and that is often just also the paintings, sometimes they start on the floor, and then they go over the wall, and back and forth. But one of the reasons I'm doing that kind of spritzing and pouring in some instances is pristine quality. The first time I saw the Adirondacks, which now was like, over 20 years ago, I was like blown away just by the pristine quality of the lakes. I felt like they were the same as they were. You could imagine like indigenous people canoeing on them, tens of thousands of years ago, and they seem unchanged. And I kind of wanted that in the work. And I ended up going to a residency at Blue Mountain Center to capture that. And then after a while, I started missing the hand. So, and I think now I'm kind of after a balance between pristine and untouched and the hand. Got it. Yeah.
So the way pristine showed up in your work was like through stains.
Stains, pouring.
Pouring.
Like no brush, like
Got it.
no pressure from no pressure from the hand.
Yeah.
It was interesting that Chris hung these two together because this one's called Sash, and this is Sash too. Sash being another word for a bouquet, but often I'll like use the thesaurus or something to get a less obvious word for something. I didn't want to say bouquet.
I hadn't heard that term used for a bouquet, but it's nice.
Sometimes I feel like the brush strokes are measuring the space, and sometimes I feel like they're complicating that measurement.
Yes. Oh, for sure. That's very insightful.
Is that?
Yes. It's almost like tacking, like folding a sail or something like that, or something very exacting. But then you're right. I don't want too much of that, and then I'll get to like this loose wrist thing. So it's like the range of language is from diagrammatic to like loose wrist. Yeah.
Particularly the painting on the other side of the wall over there, I noticed that it really felt like a certain level of deliberateness.
Yeah.
To like the rhythms.
Yeah, that was the one that I felt was a little more overtly urban.
Yeah.
More like skyscrapers or something.
Yeah, that one actually was in the city.
Oh, was it?
I have two studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My prime studio was actually in the city and at the Clemente. I don't know. You might know other artists there. Elizabeth is there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool building.
Yeah. It's very cool. Yeah.
So what are you measuring when you are maybe measuring marks? What are you measuring?
What am I measuring? I'm just, I said this quite a few times in the talk too, is that I'm really just trying to find ways to get across the canvas. Like whatever will get me there.
Measuring your travel.
Measuring my travel. It's almost like an army trying to figure out the next step. And also something like, sometimes something like this might be measuring the force field going on in between them.
These two lines.
Like these two. Like it's like about what's going on between them. There might be other.
Do the marks ever, so would those measuring marks ever establish a zone within which a certain amount of energy can exist, as opposed to trying to size up the energy that's already existing? Like, do you ever throw down some like endpoints and you're like, okay, like within the parameters of these two marks, I can go nuts.
Oh, okay. It's the former of what you said. Like I want to capture what
Oh,
Some energy
okay.
that's already there. It's
framing.
Yes.
Oh, it's there.
It's
Okay.
framing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's probably a lot like how I imagine Asian painting is constructed. You know, where the negative space is really important and really charged. I'm trying to do something similar, whether it's with negative space in the work or
Like a small delicate tree would be put on the side of a big open expanse and suddenly it would become charged
Yes.
sky.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. And the marks often are not. It was maybe earlier on when I started reintroducing mark. I have to think about it, how much it applies to this group of work. But often the marks would be very complicated, and it would be to try to awaken that kind of charge. You know, like a mark wasn't really a mark. A mark was like put together in a lot of different ways. Again, I have to see how much that applies here. Like this isn't really just one mark. You know.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Okay.
That might be an example of it. It's very obvious in a painting I have at home that's really large. There's a big diagonal, but it wasn't just. I didn't just go like that. Like
You built it little by little. You built it.
and that creates different forces and tensions. Yeah.
And so thinking about what we were just talking about, like sort of framing up, like in some ways, like this and this mark to me, sort of like emphasize the fact that what is complicated has a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
And you sized it up.
Yes.
You're holding it in a way.
Yeah. That and that it also fits in with the overall sense that I want the whole painting to have in terms of like what might be coming up here, what might be receding a little here. So.
Yeah, but to my eyes, like the fact that you frame this up and sort of you give it like a force field, a rectangular force field, gives it the energy it needs to be a worthy partner for the masses up in the upper left.
Right.
Because it's got a lot of energy up there. It's got a lot of weight. It's got a lot of heft.
Right.
And that like delicate little line built out of two marks could be trampled upon or something without a rectangular buffer zone.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know
it's
what I
like
mean?
protecting the meek or something. Or the delicate. Yeah.
Right.
No, I like that. And I think a lot in terms of building. Like I love Cezanne. I was watching some of the other Gorky Granddaughter, and it might have been Jake Berteau, but I think he talked a lot about Cezanne being a builder or him building a lot of his paintings. And
As a builder, how do you feel about? So I'm thinking about your units of construction. We'll call them bricks. They're like brushstrokes. We'll call them bricks. How do you feel about all the little space around the bricks? It feels like many of the marks in your paintings have this sort of like air cushion around them. Like I'm looking at this painting. There's there's a little a cushion of air around things. Sometimes they're stacked and it's like one brushstroke right on top of another. But frequently, even here, there's a little bit of space between them. You know what I mean? How are you feeling about is that room like a bridge? Kind of can expand and contract, and there's those little rubber bits between. The huge slabs of concrete so that expansion and contraction can occur.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how you're thinking about construction, like a flexible construction that can breathe a little bit? Because I see it all over the place. There's a little bit of a little bit of atmosphere around the building blocks.
Oh, absolutely, I want atmosphere. Absolutely. Yeah. And I see the work as interweaving atmosphere and the tactile.
Yeah, and when I think of Cezanne, sure there are passages in his paintings which are unfinished intentionally, but a lot of his brushstrokes they're snug, they touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's but Joan Mitchell had atmospheres around all of her little brushstrokes.
Right. Yeah.
So there's it's a looser masonry.
Yeah.
Or total lacking masonry.
Right.
They just but it's floating, without masonry.
Yeah.
These constructions, to my eye, I don't know if that's how you feel about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it might come back to the force field thing a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe I'm capturing the force field a little here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like here, these are very snug.
Right.
They fit.
Yeah.
But then there's these critical moments where like magnets, they sort of repel each other
Right.
just a little bit, or they kind of hum.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
there's a little cushion of energy between
Yeah.
things.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, it's like, nothing should be sleeping. Let's put it that way.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. But also, like when I'm doing like these reds here,
Yeah.
I think that's part of that thing of wanting the color. You know, I'm wanting something spatially too. Like I want things to go back. Had I not done that, that blue would have really popped and come out too much. So I'm kind of pushing it back as well. And then this kind of undulates up again and brings it another. Yeah. I'm thinking in terms of screws a lot too. Like, you know, screws going in and out of layers. And I finally articulated that to myself. Yeah. I mean, I kind of, the marks in a way are, they're kind of self-conscious. They don't want you staring at them very much. They're like, look over here. Don't stare at me so much, look over here. And that's something I said in the talk too. I mean, they're really...
I kind of feel like this whole section of the painting is like, you don't need to pay that much attention to
Yeah.
me because like the
Yeah,
detail.
right. It's like, what are you staring at? Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I like this idea of having, you know, like paintings that have large sections that you're not supposed to look at. It's like,
Right. It's almost like being in the dark room.
right, right, yeah.
And sometimes actually they're, you know, sometimes on the floor they definitely feel like they're in the dark room and they're shifting.
Right.
Yeah.
There's almost no section, there's almost no paintings that are bottom heavy. You know, we were talking about the top heavy.
Yeah.
There's no bottom heavy paintings in here.
Right.
That's kind of interesting, right? It's like, it's not really a thing that you do. The complexity is up above.
Right.
And the more factual is down below.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
Does that make the paintings more cerebral?
more cerebral.
Like
They're heady.
brain, heady energy.
Oh wow, I don't know, because the brain is up here. The brain is up. I never thought of them being cerebral more.
It's the type of thing we always say. Nobody ever takes us up on that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could say it's like that's being literal, but
Yeah.
I mean, what are things about? What are things about? Like you're like brain activity or something.
Right. And then,
Or they're like, man, I want this painting to really feel like indigestion.
Yeah.
You put everything up all up.
right, exactly. Like a Rembrandt is sitting, like there's a Rembrandt with some portrait, they're here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for backing me up.
Right.
That's right. You're the first person who's taken us up on this idea.
That's an interesting thought of why is the relationship between our headiness and up
And
there.
where the head will be.
Where the head, that's a great real body relationship thing.
Well, because I feel like these paintings are definitely, you know, in that school of painting, which is about, you know, the body,
Yeah.
you know, very directly related to the body, you know. And not, I mean, I don't think all paintings foreground that, you know, but these definitely do.
Yeah. In the sense that they're all
And
working.
they're so gestural.
Yeah.
I just think that they're, you know, part of the measurement that's happening is a measurement of the body in some way, you
Right.
know. I'm imagining.
Would you say?
I think your arm is like, zoop, 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 you know, there's, yeah.
Oh, it's like so right.
Yeah.
Seeing what the body can do. Sure.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you start getting in there with little teeny weeny pencils and stuff in a small painting, and nobody's really thinking about the body, you know. So,
True.
yeah.
But that's why small paintings are so hard, I think.
Yeah.
Because you still need to think big in a small painting.
Yeah.
And or else it's not gonna,
Yeah.
it'll probably not work.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I mean, it's not an excuse for being small.
Right.
Just because it is small.
Right. I always feel like in a small painting, I want to push into the space and make the space deeper because the surface is smaller. So like, where can you go? Well, you can go in. So I always want to go in. I don't know if that's a thing that everybody thinks, but I feel like that is a tendency I like to.
Yeah. Right, because where else is there to go?
Right. You don't have another option.
Yeah. Interesting.
There are some very thin like scratches, and I feel like there's some like scribble. Like, is that like a little bit of pencil?
Yeah,
scribble?
that's like a heavier pencil.
Did that happen early on in the painting
No.
process, or did that come in later?
That question's been asked to me before. It's
Sorry, we're coming to
The last day of the show.
a relief picture here. We're just trying to close.
Go get over the closers.
I think it's interesting what gets observed. No, it's interesting. It's an extension of the paintbrush. And like, to me, it's like, a number 2 as opposed to number 4 paintbrush or something. Even though the quality is not that of a paintbrush, it's also about the thickness and thinness of the mark that I can get with a pencil.
What is this?
Or a scratching tool. Or
A scratching
right?
tool.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What is this peculiar thing that's happening to the lines on the side where they're sort of blobbing along? Yeah, as opposed to a gesture, are you sort of like blobbing along and just sort of like mushing like this, as opposed to like...
That part definitely happened on the floor. It was in the beginning, as was all this dark area. So this was a lot just pouring wet in the wet.
Pouring.
Yeah.
Got it. Pouring.
Here's this could be an
Did you
example.
like smear it with your thumb or anything?
No.
You just poured it and it just bled out a little bit.
Yeah, I think I was probably with a brush doing like something.
Dabby dab.
But it was wet and wet. Here's an example of that thing of a line not really in a line. This is built up of all those different sections, even though it might allude to continuousness.
Right.
It's not really
Oh, is that what you meant by building before? You're like building continuousness. I love that idea. Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Constructing continuity?
Constructing continuity. Yeah.
Right.
I never quite thought of that.
Yeah. Could be the alternate title for the show.
Yeah.
Or the next show.
For sure.
This torso that's right in the middle of it. Tell us about that.
Gosh, that was just a shape when I made it. I was trying to, again, it started on the floor, and I was trying to just, sometimes I want parts of the painting to like pierce through to the other side. Like almost like putting a boulder through the canvas. And so this would be an example of that, where it's just that dense.
It's like a big
And it
hole.
was surrounded by white.
Yeah.
Whiteness. So it's just like long, it's like it's a hole into which you fall.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would definitely like someone like Lucio Fontano could come to mind, except that I'm not literally,
Slashy.
slashing. But the work is some ways about memory and longing. It's like missing intaglio printmaking. I can't seem to get my act together in intaglio print. But I just, whatever. The forces that I'm like, I haven't done this since like graduate school. And I think I missed that whole like thing.
Right. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
You can do that with etching and drawing. I guess I didn't have started to do a little drawing to kind of, but I think
Incising.
Incising.
Yeah. These are some of the taco moves right here. You have a little bit of, you got a little bit of taco move here, like where the thing comes and sort of sandwiches, what's below it just a little bit.
Pushing it down.
Like here. Yeah.
Exactly same. Yeah.
I just feel like I'm like outside. It's like kind of humid, It's like it's got this kind of haze.
Yeah.
But it's warm, It's got like a warm wood kind of color.
Is this the humidity? Is this humidity?
I Yeah, and I also just
Or
kind
here.
of see the haze. You know,
This part, okay.
Yeah, there's like sort of like a haze around a lot of the forms.
Yeah.
Well, humidity definitely played a role in my earlier life growing up in the Midwest. St. Louis. It's like DC in the summer. Like yeah, or even like Hudson, like in the valley. Yeah, very impressive. Yeah. But I think even more so, okay, we're talking about Rembrandt. I think this painting combines a love of Rembrandt and I was just in Australia earlier this year. My mother was 4 generations Australian. And so I went back for the first time in 54 years. The last time I was there, the Opera House was being built.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, and so I saw a lot of Aboriginal painting and then also traveling. I went to Fran O'Neill's studio.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She's 2 hours outside of Melbourne. We're just taking the train out to her studio. You know, so it's called Bush, like the bush in Australia. So it's definitely like bringing a lot of different things. And I very much want to go back to Australia and go down like Darwin or
So when you were painting this, were you thinking more like dusty, arid? Because I was sort of describing it as humid, but it could also be sort of like a dusty, like sort of like a more like a desert kind of like windstorm or something, you know, where there's like it's dry. And
yeah.
It's like kind of like
the Australia thing is definitely dry. The humidity thing, I never thought of until you mentioned it. That would fit with my earlier life, you know, for sure. But no, that arid thing is very Australian. Yeah, or the parts of Australia I was in. Yeah. And this verticality is a big theme in my work too. And I would say some of that comes from, even though I grew up in St. Louis in the Midwest, I was born in Gainesville, Florida, and there's a lot of hanging Spanish moss. So the first 6 years of my life, that's where I lived, and I think that sort of imprinted that whole thing of hanging and then the light coming through. Not those colors, but, you know, that idea. But that might be why there's a lot of verticality in my work. You know, I think the structure's woven in and out of the piece, but I don't mind that some of it's showing up on top. Yeah.
Is that a way to keep the process of working on a big painting like this kind of fun? Like you're saying to yourself, like as the creator, like wait for it. Like this thing's been percolating for a couple of weeks, and now the structure comes in, like right at the end.
Yeah.
You finish with a flourish.
Right. Perhaps, yeah. Although I'm not saying there's no structure earlier, but yes. Yeah, finish with a flourish. Well, maybe that's a way to integrate going down, you know, going from surface down.
Sure.
You know, so.
And that structure can kind of like, you can touch the spontaneous loose things that happened early on in a way that make them feel essential and necessary.
Yeah. So you wanted to talk about the painting?
Well, yeah, there's one that, you know, like it's so out of focus because I don't have my glasses on. There we go, that's better. Yeah, all the brush strokes have a little bit of a haziness to them.
Huh.
You know?
I have an answer to that. And perhaps it's a little hazier on the left than on the right, would you say?
Sure.
Yeah. Because I started to use more medium, like not linseed oils, but safflower. I'm experimenting with walnut, safflower. I started to feel the need for that. And actually, I did a Facebook post about it because I started using linseed with linseed with blue will become green. I didn't want that, so been playing with it. Yeah, that's very recent that I've needed that because I'm either typically using, you know, watering it down with Gamsol or just using pure pigments.
Yeah.
That's sort of a new development.
So how come you decided to go with some sort of binder like that?
I think maybe for some body and also some, you know, kind of gleam, you know, so some sort of shine. Yeah, like, you know, it's like, I'm always like looking at ways to vary language, you know, like, I'm interested in the polyglot universe rather than the mono language universe.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's another way to vary things. Like it's unlikely I would put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Did this one start on the floor, or is this mostly painted
Yeah,
vertically?
that's one of the few that probably never started on the floor.
Okay, because it didn't really look like that to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did it start as a diptych?
No, yes, actually, or it became addicted pretty fast because by this time, it was one of the last things I did as well. That was the literal last. But,
So this zone was always in relationship to that.
yeah,
This was the space for that. So this actually gets a little denser because there's open space to be here.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
It's that, maybe it's what Zach was saying about that. It's like, maybe it's a bit of don't look over here, look over there. Don't
Sure.
look over that.
Sure.
Don't look over that. Yeah, at this point, I didn't, earlier on, and I think we all do this when we're doing a show, I was focusing on the paintings more than the show. But then when I started thinking about the show, I was like, I didn't want a whole bunch of things the same size, so this was one way to bring two panels together and make a diptych, and that's why there's some smaller paintings. And actually the sort of mascot for that was on the card and everything, I call it the mascot painting over there. That's like a 36 by 36. So that was part of the motivation to make the diptych.
Uh-huh. The blue, these sort of like chunky blue brush strokes are very similar to the painting that we were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, right.
And that makes sense. I was using it for that.
Yeah.
It's from a place that's near Albany, RHF Colors or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'm also really looking. Have you guys seen that Flora Yankovic show at the Frick? I haven't seen it either, but I'm kind of interested in some of the things she does. I think I was inspired a little by that, with going this direction with mixing oil. Yeah, because if I didn't start doing that in some places, I think that, I was concerned that everything would look a bit dry.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So that oil helps with that.
Uh-huh. You were saying small paintings are hard,
Yeah.
right? It felt like maybe there's maybe a little bit more frustration
Maybe.
in this painting.
Yeah.
To me.
Right, because I didn't want to focus on the nudgy. I didn't want to be nudgy. That's why they're hard. It's easy to be nudgy with a small painting. And hard, you think, again, I feel like you start thinking small because you're working small, and you have to think big. That's just because something's small. You still need to think big, or it's going to be a nudgy painting. Yeah.
And just a second ago, you were talking about we were talking about sort of structure coming in at the end for flourish. I mean, here again is sort of like the yellow or these very pale colors. Like it feels like there's some kind of event, and it's just it's like hovering.
Yeah.
Right there, right at the finish line.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Oh, when I think about hovering a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's a form of. I noticed this myself, and actually Tom McGlynn, who led the talk, noticed it separately, is that sometimes you can't tell whether the works are coming together, things are coming together or falling apart, which I think is the nature of hovering.
Okay.
And, but that's interesting to think of it as a finishing element, but that would make sense that it would be a finishing element, because it's sort of what the paintings are supposed to be doing. So, yeah.
Is there some what is this? Is this oil pastel in there?
A little bit. I rarely use it.
But is that what some of that is? Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like a different.
Yeah.
It just had a different sensibility. This passage.
Right. Yeah.
Does oil pastel show up in other bigger paintings?
No, but it's funny. People are positive I'm using it sometimes in areas like this.
But
I'm not. I'm not. I mean, it's just it's dry pigment.
Dry pigment.
Yeah.
I really love this section right up here.
Yeah.
There's really interesting overlays of
Uh-huh.
directional energy.
When you say dry pigment, you mean it's
There's
a little a crusty bit that you're just drawing with, like a little piece of paint.
meaning that it's it's literally pigment out of the tube, and no medium is mixed in except for the medium that's in the color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone said once that they think of it as asemic, kind of creating a language. Yeah, sure. That part that you were pointing to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or some kind of counting, like it's some kind of weird math. like
Yeah.
the math is sort of playing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this painting a lot.
Do you know how, if you ever see a lawn sprinkler that sort of shoots out like those shots as it goes out, but when a couple of them are in the air at the same time, that type of interwoven. Like sometimes I feel like the directionality of the lines you're making shoot out the way a lawn sprinkler shoots out, and it creates this like beautiful ballet. You know?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
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 That's one of those sections somehow.
Yeah.
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 The humidity I was talking about is like,
That.
it's all through that one as well.
Yeah.
I see that as pretty steamy.
Wow, that's
I
interesting.
like that painting a lot.
If that's one of the last ones, and I had to force myself to stop, to not overdo it. Like, I do. Just to kind of keep it spontaneous. It was towards the end. I painted this whole show. I was like, okay, don't do that with that one. You're allowed with one, not to.
Well, it's also an interesting placement for this painting. Sort of like it's like a period at the end of the entire show, in a way. You know. It's
wow.
It's like
the
boom.
one painting that I feel
You
like
go through everything, you come around the corner, and then it's like boom, done.
I'd say the one painting that kind of risks maybe going too far is maybe this
This
one.
one, perhaps, yeah.
Because it's, I don't know, it feels like,
Nudgy, yeah.
And I love this word,
Yeah.
nudgy. Yeah.
That's a great term.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff feels like maybe there were like brighter marks in here. You're like, oh, I gotta fucking push it back into the brown. You're like covering things up. And
Yeah.
they're really interesting. These two paintings actually as sort of
Bookends.
Bookends, right.
a possibility.
True. Like they're doing the opposites.
In
The
different
opposite.
ways,
Yeah, it's true. I know, like, that was the first of the smaller, of the 20 by 24s. And there's a third 20 by 24. Yeah. And that makes sense that I would have felt like, oh, it's not enough, I have to go further, Yeah. Whereas I let myself not do that with that one. Yeah. Yeah.